G'day folks, welcome back to Delboy's Garage. Yeah, I've been busy for a few days. Just going to do a little bit of catching upage with the old Bandit. As you can see, just having a bit of fun. Had a bit of a bike run this weekend and decided to just do something a bit mad. So I got the 180 grit and just rubbed all the bodywork down. Now, as I said, I'm quite into the old rat thing. I want to rat this, but not by painting it matte black. Just not into that. It just to me isn't rat. So what I've done is, you know, I mean, matte black is cool and it's very popular, but to me it's just a matte black bike. I want a proper rat bike that's just this kind of decayed, you know, dilapidated look. And all I've done, quite simply, is that's darker because it's still wet. I've just rubbed the paint off. Just got some 180 grit. Bit of a mad thing to do. Like I said, got this well cheap. It's just an old banger. Just going to make some fun out of it. Really have a bit of a laugh. When we look at the bike, if anybody's sort of thinking, oh, what a waste of a nice bike, it ain't a nice bike. You know, you're looking there, all that was already rusted. All the bolts in here rusted out. There's a lot to be done. If I wanted to ever make this nice, all this is all rusted and decayed inside. All these oil lines are rusted out. I've checked them, they're good and solid, given them a good tap with a toffee hammer, and they're fine. And they're only coolant lines anyway, so that shouldn't be a problem. Like on here, all the paint's coming off. So there's a million lovely Bandits out there that look great, and they all just blend into one. This was an old banger. I thought I'd do something different. The old pipe's working great. That's the best option out of the two or three different things I did. Shorty and stubby and down the can. Sounds awesome. Wicked. And this really, you just took the chrome bits off there, which is a good thing to do. Always take chrome off. And just rub this down really. Just got the 180 grit. Rubbed into it with all the paint. And I discovered something else. Let's just go indoors a minute. And just, you can play with the chalk. Now, because it's kind of a satin finish or a matte finish, you can do all kinds of things with it. I will be able to get this out in a minute. That's better. And as you can see, you can just write all over it. There you go. Now this is loads of fun. Went on a run at the weekend. Haha, spelt right. And obviously I put a piece of chalk just on the front, and my mates just wrote rubbish all over it, which is great fun, and everybody loved it. It's quite a good fun thing to do, and you know, it's just a bit of fun with a cheap bike. So tonight I'm just gonna have a little think about the next rat thing to do. Done the bodywork. The tank, I haven't gone through the paint on all this. I've just gone through in a kind of contrived way, carefully, to sort of make the bike symmetrical either side. Just gone through the paint a little bit. This is the plastic underneath the paint, and it's great when it gets wet. It goes dark. Yeah, that's dried out a bit now. And it's just cool. You know, you can see the remnants of people writing all over it. It's just a good laugh. Just washes off again. So customise it with chalk. And the tank I didn't do. I didn't go right through the paint because obviously it's going to rust. So think about that. I might go a little bit more. Perhaps get through to the primer. That's going to be a careful process. Tonight I'm just going to do a little bit of kind of frame because this is a bit shiny. And then also the hugger under here, going to get that sorted. Also, the one thing is that any rat bike, so many guys go out and they spend 20 pence on a crap old bike and they paint it matte black. I think it's a rat bike. No, it's not. It's just a 20 pence bike that's painted black, and it's probably a death trap, so going to kill you. This was £1,500 worth of bike, and it was a great bike. It was just a bit decayed, a bit rusted, but tyres, brakes, chain sprockets, fork seals, everything's done. By the way, I don't know if I showed you these, let's put the old Harley iron gaiters on there, which is a bit cool. The important thing obviously is that it's safe. So all of the running gear, I've got new tyres on it, new brakes, I keep it up mechanically. That's the most important thing. What it looks like, not important. So tonight all I'm going to do, in the back here, there's a little rubbage occurring here with this on the tyre, so that's still a shiny finish and that won't do. That's not in keeping, so I'm going to get that wiped off, get some scruffage in there, make that all look khaki and horrible, put it back on because it is great. I prefer a hugger because, again, the shock in there is in lovely condition. That is a nice shock. Many Bandit shocks are a bit corroded and horrid, so I want to keep that nice. I don't want it going rusting, and that's what huggers do. They keep your shock nice, keep the bike from getting covered in stuff, and obviously keep it mechanically sound. So I'm going to get that rubbed down tonight, deal with this problem. I've got to perhaps cut this out a bit so there's a space. This is an extremely wide tyre. The gap between the tyre and the chain is literally, it's about 1/16 of an inch at the most. It doesn't touch because there's no marks on the tyre, but it's that close. That's about the widest tyre you're going to get. It's this Avon Storm. Has quite an extreme angle. So tonight I'm going to get some rubbage into the frame, match the sort of rub down look on the frame into this, try and get through it in a few places, get a bit of rust occurring, get that decayed look going, and then on the hugger as well. So the first job is get the hugger off. Stick around, stay tuned. Alright, got it off. Here it is. Now just, again, another word on huggers. Check all this out. This is inside yon hugger, and all this cack would be up underneath your bike, in your wiring, everywhere, and all up around your shock, especially towards the front, which is where it keeps it off the swing arm. So, you know, there's a point where it's a bit of fun to have a dirty bike and make it look like a bit of a shed, but when that dirt starts to rot things and cause decay that is dangerous and breaches the safety of the bike, that's all bad. So it's a bit of a toss up between the two. So here it is, nice and shiny, well, under the dirt, and it's just a little bit wet and dry. Going to use it dry, and this is not a painted surface, it's basically a gel coated surface. So all I'm going to do is knock all the shine off this and sand it down, get the stickers off, so it's ready to put back on. So it's just a little bit of that. I need both hands, so let's get cracking on this, see what it looks like. Okay, again, this is wonderfully, I don't know, destructively therapeutic. It's good fun, and all I'm doing is knocking the shine off the gel coat, make it look uniform, fit in with the rest of the bike. Again, point I want to make, rat bikes, some like them rat and survival, all matte black with gas masks and old goat's heads and bits of ammunition tin and garbage hanging off it, but I'm just not interested in that. What I love the best is these old, like you see these old Harley glides, these old 70s shovelheads that have been in the same guy's garage for 30 years, and he just loves it and he's just ridden it. There's loads on YouTube, just put in old rat Harley, there's one if you look at it called I Am Rat. If you just Google I Am Rat on YouTube, it comes up, and there's this amazing Harley. It's supposed to be 1,000 years old. I just want an old decayed bike. I just want it to look dirty and old and dilapidated, not matte black and survival. I just want to go a different way. So that's what all this is about. And also, as I said, it's extremely important to remember that the maintenance of the bike, the safety side of it, is equally as important as if it was a show-winning bike. Nothing changes. Brakes, chain sprockets, fork seals, proficiency of the bike, lights, horn, all that stuff still have to be maintained. In fact, you have to keep better care of it because you're more likely to miss a fork seal because the bike's looking like a pile of cack. So keep a look on everything, make sure you stay safe and out of the hedge. Right, that section that's catching the tyre is, as you can see coming in close, is that shiny bit there. So I'm just going to dress that right back with the file. It's not hurting, it's not doing the tyre any harm, literally all it's doing is polishing the surface, but why not address it? So I'll knock it back with a half round file. Okay, time to let it dry. There it is. I'm done. Nice matte colour. Took a bit of time to dress that section away, and only fitting it will tell if it's been enough. But it just took all the, that's what I wanted, took all the gloss off it, so it sort of matches in with the satin paint. Okay, get it refit on the bike, and there it is, all in place. And that section there is a good 1/4 of an inch now away, so that's not going to rub anymore. Just got to go out there and lean it over enough to get that scrubbed in now. It should be fun. There it is, all scuffed up and matte, all the gloss taken off, in keeping with the bodywork. Rubbed it through. Okay, so now the only shiny bit left is the frame. I've got to get some good old tough grit into the frame, because it doesn't matter if I go through sort of on the welds and get a bit of surface rust. That's what I'm looking for, get that proper decayed look. So all this exposed frame, I took that cover off for now so I can get in there, but that cover, the cover that goes on the swing arm pivot, I'm going to leave that on because I can get it off. Can't get it off now. Inside there, it's a greased, spotlessly clean environment, so I don't want to end up a load of water and soapy water from rubbing down going in there and then corroding the swing arm pivot. That's all bad. So that's going to get left there for now, and then it's going to get rubbing down. Take some of the gloss off the frame, try and match it in. Just using a 120 grit this time, because the frame's plenty thick, and I want to go through it in a few places, so this will get it off real quick. There we go. That's the idea. Just on the extremities, go through the paint. Right, that is just about it. Been over the tank again, just rubbing all the lacquer off. I'll tell you something I noticed, very interesting. The paint on this frame is so thin. There is one coat of primer, one coat of colour, and a thin coat of lacquer. Literally a couple of strokes with the wet and dry, that went straight through to bare metal. Amazing to know that there's so little paint on the frame. Tank's different, it's almost impossible to get through that, but it has got lots of fuel-proof lacquer on it, so I'm not going to rub through that. But there we are, around the other side. Just get all the rough stuff, and there it is. So there it is. Just building a rat in a different way. Rub the paint off, let it decay and corrode. That's going to rust up pretty quick, so I can just give it WD-40 and wet and dry, or better still, WD-40. Once that starts to rust, coat of WD-40 and then a Scotch-Brite, and you get this yellow rusted patina. It's like an oily finish and it stays there. So that's pretty cool. It's just sort of setting it in motion. You can't obviously spend 30 years letting a bike decay. I ain't got enough time in my life, so just got to contrive it a little bit. But this is wet now, so you can see where the paint's gone through different places. And down on the frame, took a lot of the paint off down this side, got it all rubbed through. It's just a bit of fun. That's all it is. It's a cheap old banger of a bike. Engine lacquer's all corroded and rusted and flaked off anyway. So to be honest, not losing anything. Really not losing anything. And the other side of it is, if I was going to just matte black the whole thing, I'd have to do this anyway. I'd have to rub it down. You can't just do it over shiny paint, it'll flake off and look stupid. So you've got to rub it all down anyway. So what's left? Going to do the stainless finish, that shiny stainless finish. Going to rub that down tomorrow. And the fork legs, which are all nice and silver and shiny. Got to get rid of that. But the paintwork, just going to let it dry. So as it's, I just get one of these, kind of get some of that off, let it dry out a bit. Kind of see as it dries, it's going to go through certain areas So there we are. A little bit of fun, nothing serious. Got that done as well. Sorted out that rubbish the other side. And then later in the week I'm going to sort of perhaps get the engine breather into a can, you know, the old traditional little Red Bull can or whatever, something that works. Just put it there with the breather in it, so it's a little bit different. It's just a bit of fun. Ratting a bike is enormous good fun. So there we are. Another stage forward. Frame will rub through. It'll see it rust as time goes on. That's all for now, folks. Take it easy. See you next time.